Hi, my name is Rachel Easty, and my speech is on school uniforms and the pros and cons to having them. And the general purpose is to inform, and the specific purpose is to give listeners the pros and cons to wearing uniforms or not. So, for my introduction, I was just like, if you think about it, what would you prefer? Would you want to get up and have a school uniform ready for you every morning, or do you like the idea that you can just get up and then choose what you want to wear based on how you're feeling that day? Most public schools don't require a school uniform, but a lot of the private ones do. Either way, if you're wearing a school uniform or not, I mean, the students are going to be going to school, so there's a pro in all of it, either way. And, basically, people that are for it say that school uniforms could help students and their school experience, and they could eliminate the formation of gangs on campus because, I don't know, I've always heard the bandanas that people wear, those were a sign of a gang symbol, or the, chains on your wallet, those were a sign one time. So having a school uniform can eliminate the formation of gangs because you're not allowed to have, identifiers, I guess, yeah. And so it would also, one thing I thought was actually good about having a school uniform would be that you could spot an intruder really well, because if they're not wearing the school uniform, they would stand out really like a sore thumb, so that'd be really good. And people who oppose school uniforms say that it makes students more vulnerable to bullying, which I guess I can see, if you're not used to people wearing a school uniform and then you see a bunch of people wearing it, if you're rude or mean, you can go make fun of them, so I guess it could be a way to make fun of people. I personally don't think that schools need a uniform code, but I don't see anything wrong with it also. I mean, I could be persuaded either way, so I'm pretty neutral on the subject. So advocates also have more points for school uniforms, it lowers barriers between students, because if you have, in public schools, there's always the cliques that form, and a lot of times the cliques, you'll notice, wear the same type of outfits. There'll be the clique with all the boys who wear Romeos and Carhartts, and then the clique with the girls who wear all the pink gear, from Victoria's Secret and stuff like that. So there's you can spot groups of people, and if you have uniforms then you won't, and so everyone can just intermingle amongst themselves. Yeah, so you can't judge people's wealthiness because you might not be able to tell based on their clothing how much money they have to spend on school uniforms or school dress code. So that leads me to the next point, which it can save parents money because they don't have to buy school clothes every year, and they don't have to worry about buying the most expensive or popular clothing, because everyone just has one, they might have more than one uniform, but they have uniform to buy. One of the things that would be good about having a school uniform is that children don't have to wake up and decide what they're going to wear if they're really bad at that and indecisive, because that can kill time if you're trying to decide every morning what you're going to wear, if you don't plan it out or something. And if you have your uniform already, you're going to wear a uniform, then that takes away the dressing time in the morning. So it can lead to longer sleep hours or more time to work on homework. And one of the statistics that I found was 23% of schools in the U.S. require a school uniform. So I thought that was actually kind of a big chunk for uniforms. So now, for the people who oppose school uniforms, I think they have a valid argument as well, because they say they're an unnecessary expense to parents who pay taxes for public education, which I guess if you don't buy new clothes every year, but you're required to buy a uniform, then it could be an unnecessary expense, and I'm not sure, some of the uniforms are probably pretty expensive, so maybe they're used to just buying a few pairs of jeans and t-shirts and then calling it good for the whole year, and the uniform might actually cost more for some families, so I can see that side of it also. And it can be hard to enforce school uniforms in a public school, which I can get because at my school I can't see everyone wanting to wear a school uniform, or they'd make a big deal about it and then just not. And I feel like the school would have a worse time having a bunch of kids like defying wearing the uniform, and then they would just not require it anymore. So yeah, like I said, some students, even with the school dress codes, like you're not in middle school, I know we weren't allowed to wear tank tops, but people did it anyways, and so they just like rebel against the rules and then they do it anyways. So sometimes I feel like a uniform probably wouldn't take to some kids. And it can also lower confidence while at school. I know some people like to dress to make themselves feel really good about themselves, like wear your favorite pair of pants to give yourself more confidence or something. And if you feel horrible in your school uniform, then you could be like self-conscious all day and then like keep thinking about that and do worse on your tests and stuff. And it's just a point that they brought up. It limits kids' creativity and individuality because if you like to add things to your outfits, like a bunch of accessories or something, then you can't do that with a uniform. Then you could be like stifling your individuality. So some of the brands that I was talking about that like the clicks form that maybe a uniform would stop are like pink. So this would be like a pink shirt that would be a brand, and these are the visuals, by the way, because they had them laying around. So that'd be another one. Like, if you just put a uniform in the mix, then you don't have to worry about kids getting, like, pulled into different social groups just on wealth. So, basically, pros to having school uniforms are not worrying about wasting time and picking out an outfit. You have more time to study and everything, so that could be good, and you don't have to worry about the most popular clothes. And the cons are that it takes away from individuality, and it could lead to bullying because other schools might think that it's weird or something. And basically, there's no right or wrong answer to this question. Like, you're not gonna say, oh, schools that require uniform do way better, because there's no direct, like, 100% if you have a uniform, you're gonna fail like high school. It's not that simple. So, I wouldn't want to wear one just because I like to pick it out for every morning. So some people like to, some people don't. It's just a personal thing. And I know my friends, especially at my school, I know my school would not react well to a uniform policy. They would hate it. I'm pretty sure they would not like that. So yeah, that's my speech on school uniforms and the pros and cons of that. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.